Hello, I welcome you all to today's lesson. We have Social Studies for Junior High School 2, that is Social Studies for JHS 2, and we are still discussing tourism and leisure. But today we'll be looking at tourism promotion in Ghana and its benefits. Tourism promotion in Ghana and its benefits. In our previous lesson, we looked at tourism, definition, and other associated terms. Who a tourist is, what sceneries are. Then we looked at the forms of tourism. We are continuing to look at tourism promotion in Ghana and its benefits. And by the end of this lesson, I'm expecting that the student will be able to identify factors that promote tourism, explain the need to promote tourism in Ghana. Alright. Tourism in Ghana. Ghana as a country is endowed with many tourist attractions. And these tourist attractions can be grouped or can be categorized into these forms. The main ones are ecotourism. And under ecotourism, we are looking at the totality of the flora and fauna of the country and the landscapes. And so we can talk about forest reserves, national parks and gardens, waterfalls, and then relief, that is mountains, hills, escarpments, plateaus, and so on. Then we have forts, castles, and historical monuments. Ghana has its coasts lined with many different forts and castles that were built by the Europeans that came into the Gold Coast. And some of these are the forts: Orange, Asha Fort, James Fort, Elmina Castle, Cape Coast Castle, the Christiansborg Castle, and many others. And we also have festivals. Festival is another main tourist attraction in Ghana. Ghana is made up of many different ethnic groups or tribes, and all these ethnic groups have different festivals of so much importance that they celebrate. These festivals are very colorful and beautiful, and so it attracts many people from outside the country and within. Some of these festivals are the Ujira Festival, the Adai Festival, the Homowo, Hogbechocho, Asafutufiam, Mayem, Abuachiri, Ahoba, Bugum, Bakatue, Damba, and so many others. Another main attraction in Ghana to tourists is our beaches and our water bodies. Ghana's drainage is so beautiful, made up of the Volta and its basin, and so many other rivers like Oti, Ayensu, Densu, and Cobra, Bia, Tano, Pra, Ofen, the white Volta, the black Volta, and so on. Don't forget that the largest man-made lake in West Africa, or in Africa, is in Ghana, and that is the Lake Volta. All these water bodies attract a lot of tourists. And then, because Ghana is a coastal country that is bordered on the south by the Gulf of Guinea, it has very large and beautiful sandy beaches stretching from Denu in the eastern part of the coast all the way to Axim at the west. So we have various coastal towns that have very beautiful beaches, places like Adan, Keta, and Oga, Pram Pram. La, Winneba, Cape Coast, Elmina, and others. Then we also have slave markets and sites. Ghana is a very important country when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, because it was the main point of expedition, or the main point from which black slaves were transported to the west. And this slave camps, slave markets, and slave wars were very important to those people who were victims of the slave trade. And so many blacks in the diaspora take delight in tracing their roots back to Ghana and going to see these places for themselves. So these are the main tourist attractions in Ghana. Now, what promotes tourism in Ghana? You see, tourism is most often or usually treated as second priority, or as second on the priority list. That is, after people have done the needful, then they make allocations for tourism and leisure. And so when the person does not have good employment and good income level, it is hard that they get involved in tourism. So good employment and good income level is a motivating factor, or is a factor that promotes tourism. Then available and accessible transport networks is also very important. Sometimes there are very beautiful tourist attractions, but the roads that lead to these attractions are so bad that people don't even want to try going there. And so the construction of good and accessible roads, railways, and so on to these tourist sites also promotes tourism. The first time I traveled to Lee Falls in the Volta region, the road was very bad, and so I didn't want to go there again because I was so tired from the journey. But the second time I went there, the road had been tarred, at least to some extent, though it was not complete. But it made the journey smooth and easier. And so, good roads are very important for promoting tourism. Then availability and nature of tourist attractions. So in the first place, Ghana has so many tourist attractions, unlike in some other countries. So one, if the attractions are available, then tourism will be promoted. Then the nature of the tourist attraction, and the Ghana Tourism Board, the Ministry of Tourism, and some other institutions in the tourism industry have been very, very instrumental in upgrading the nature of our tourist sites. And this has also contributed a lot to the promotion of tourism. Then security at tourist sites is another factor that promotes tourism. And so when people go on tour, they are concerned about their security. Are we safe? Is the place secure? They are very concerned about that. And though there have been some few incidents, or there have been some few accidents at some tourist sites in Ghana over the years, generally the security at tourist sites in Ghana is very, very laudable or is very, very commendable. And that is one factor that has promoted tourism a lot. Then enhanced advertisement is another factor. Yeah. Formerly, tourist sites were not advertised. You only hear about it when somebody tells you, or you read about it in books. But today, on national television, on radio, on social media handles like YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, you see lots of adverts about tourist sites. And the more it is advertised, the more people get to know about it, and the more people patronize it. And so enhanced advertisement is also a factor that promotes tourism in Ghana. Do we need to promote tourism at all? Yes, we need to promote tourism. Tourism has to be promoted because of the following reasons. It has led to the protection of historical monuments. The Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, the W.B. Du Bois Center for Pan-Africanism, our castles, our forts, and some other historical places that have been kept till date is because of tourism. If not for tourism, all these very important historical sites and monuments would have been left uncared for, and so would have been destroyed. And so we should promote tourism so that we can keep our history and protect it. And it also facilitates protection of endangered species. So endangered species of plants and animals are protected through tourism. How? Through the creation of forest reserves, botanical gardens, natural parks, zoos, and so on. And so today you don't see antelope passing by or crossing the road. You don't even see things like rabbits around the place. You don't see a deer, or you don't meet a lion anywhere. But when you go to zoo, when you go to some of these forest reserves, when you go to places like the monkey sanctuaries, you see some of these endangered species being protected because of tourism. Then tourism also has many cultural benefits. Cultural exchange, cultural assimilation, and cultural business are all benefits of tourism. Then tourism has created many direct and indirect jobs, so many of them. The driver, the caterer, the security guard, the tour guide, the receptionist, the facility manager, the hotels, the restaurants, the arts centers and markets, the craftsmen, all get direct and indirect jobs through tourism. And the tourism industry has employed so many people. And so when we're able to promote tourism and expand the tourism industry, what happens? It means that there'll be more job for people to do. And so we need to promote tourism in Ghana. Then tourism has also promoted the protection of beaches and water bodies. But for tourism, most of our beaches would have been left unattended to. And the local town folks would have misused the place for the dumping of refuse, defecation, and other unhealthy activities. But because of tourism, our beaches are being cleaned up on regular basis and protected so that they will be nice and attractive to tourists. This is why we don't have to stop promoting tourism. Tourism also contributes a lot to national revenue. Yes. You see, all the people who are employed in the tourism industry pay taxes to the government. Apart from that, the tourists also pay tolls, rents, rates, facility user fees, gate fees, and so on. And all these add up to increase the state's revenue. So over the years, tourism has become, if not the second, the third, and so for that matter, a very high contributor to national revenue or national income. Then it has also promoted the growth and development in Ghana. Tourism has rapidly facilitated growth and development in Ghana because most development in some distant and deserted places came as a result of tourism. There are some places that development wouldn't have got to by now because they are very far away from the city centers. But because of tourism, good roads have to link to those places. Potable water has to get there. Electricity extension has to get there because when tourists visit those places, they will need water, they will need electricity, they will need good roads to get there. And so the location or the availability of tourist sites across the country has also promoted growth and development. And so, if you're able to promote tourism, it means that national growth will also increase. And so, with all these that we have discussed, I'm certain that you now know why we need to promote tourism and the factors that promote tourism. To test your knowledge on understanding of today's lesson, you answer the following questions. But until we meet again for the next lesson, stay safe, stay at home, use your mask, wash your hand regularly, use your hand sanitizers, and keep learning. Bye bye.